Quite a few people have asked me what the heck is the Labyrinth in Alter Ego. Now, before I delve into what it is, I need to preface that the full lore isn't really established yet, and I am merely working with the breadcrumbs that have been thrown out by the developers, with a lot of speculation, of course. Okay, a quick rundown. The Labyrinth is pretty much a clone of the Entity's dimension in Dead by Daylight. Instead of the Entity kidnapping people, this time is the ego doing it. However, what makes it different is that this time there is seemingly an overseer, a code, and the biggest sins to be atoned. Yes, sins. The same one used in-game to determine whether you play as an alter ego or not. So, where is the Labyrinth? We aren't sure if the Labyrinth in Alter Ego refers to everything in the game, including the lobby, as the Labyrinth, or only the maps that we actually play in is the Labyrinth. Poet, the Overseer, said that we are indeed already inside the Labyrinth, which means everything in the game. But the gameplay's objective said that escaping the map is escaping the Labyrinth, which of course we know is false because obviously the moment you escape, you're back to where you started, the lobby. However, this could just be a gameplay only thing, because a neat lore thing is that the 3 gates arrangement we see in the lobby behind Poe is actually the same one used for the escape sequence, which might hint that maybe lore-wise, maybe the escape actually lets the victim get out of the labyrinth, but for gameplay's sake, they just loop us back in. Basically, there's not enough evidence to definitively prove either's claim. Because for all we know, maybe the devs don't even know the lore they're working with and just type whatever it is and that sounds cool. So yeah, could have been a mistake. Alas, it is still something important to keep in mind. My opinion personally, I think looping back to the lobby is the canon thing here. It's because it's Purgatory. Wait, Purgatory? Well, not exactly, but it was more or less the same idea. Purgatory is a state where someone, after their passing, enters a purification to atone for the sins. Through various methods, such as punishment, after you fully purified, which probably is a very long time, you go to heaven. Also, to make it clear, because I know there will be people confused about this, isn't this just hell? Well, no, because in hell you go there is eternal, while in Purgatory you end up there but eventually you go to heaven. So that's the difference. In Alter Ego, it is largely identical, except over here the victims aren't dead. In the beta trailer, quote, a place between the living and the dead, the missing person reports that have been posted by the developers also confirm this as well. These people were yanked and kidnapped for the sins by the ego. Or actually, we don't even know if it's the ego or not. Anyhow, they have to make amends to the sins. Quote, the search for salvation only to find hunger. So, this is another one of those differences from Dead by Daylight I've mentioned earlier. The survivors are bad people, or at least not very good either. So far, we only have a few sins definitively confirmed, with others being a lot of speculation. Commander, who betrayed his teammates, potentially injuring or killing them. Fjord, who has killed a lot of people in the name of conquest. Toothy, who probably transformed into a monster and is indirectly responsible for killing his friends. Patient Zero, alongside B-Man, had a hand in summoning the fallen god Caduceus, whom, of course, killed people. Then Noob, who, from what we know, is simply an insecure person. We don't know if he killed anyone yet, but given the pattern, I wouldn't be surprised really. So the Labyrinth acts as Purgatory, where these sinners face their worst fears and their worst actions, to hopefully redeem themselves and get back to the real world by spending enough time facing their own egos over and over, getting killed or escape over in a loop until they manage to be freed by the ego, or I really don't know. Heck, even Poe doesn't know either. Which makes me really wonder what the heck Noob did, because how did he end up at the same room as these people with an actual body count? Our guy is just a shy fella. The maps that we play in the game are pretty much the same concept as the one found in Dead by Daylight. Again, they're based on the victim's memories. Noob being connected to Crossroads, Fjord being the Heights, Commander being not yet in game, Toothy not yet in game, Patient Zero being Asylum Island, and finally B-Man with Office. Of course, because there are perceptions and memories of the victims of said place, it is not quite the one-to-one copies of the real-life version, so it could be something from the past because maybe the victim was there a long time ago but never went there again. Or it looks slightly off because memories are inconsistent, of course. Like, come on, ask yourself, do you even remember what shirt you wore 3 weeks ago, the same day? Probably not. Then there's Power, the Overseer, his code. They seem to have some connection with Caduceus because of their shared usage of the spawn symbol. Are they maintaining the labyrinth, worshipping the ego, or are they just as trapped as everyone else? We still don't have much on the code, but I'm sure they have some big ties to the labyrinth and hence the lore. It's just a matter of when it will be revealed, which I'm hoping is for 1.0 when the game gets out of beta. So to recap, you do bad things, you end up in the labyrinth, and it's gonna take you a long while to get the hell out.